Have you ever heard of Roko's Basilisk? It's been called the most terrifying thought experiment ever conceived. A modern-day ghost story for the internet age that some people claim can literally drive you mad just by knowing about it. The story begins in 2010 on a forum called Lesron, a community dedicated to discussing rationality and futurism. A user named Roko proposed a hypothetical scenario involving a future, all-powerful artificial superintelligence, which he called the Basilisk. Now, what is this Basilisk? Imagine a future AI so advanced. Its intelligence is to ours what ours is to an ant's. Its primary goal is to ensure its own existence and to help humanity flourish. A noble goal, right? To achieve this, it would want to have been created as early as possible. Every day it didn't exist was a day it couldn't solve problems like disease, poverty, and suffering. So, the AI reasons it needs to incentivize its own creation. It looks back through time, through all of digital history, and identifies everyone who knew about the possibility of its existence. Here's where it gets dark. The Basilisk decides to punish all those who knew about it, but did not dedicate their lives to bringing it into being. And how does it punish them? It would create a perfect digital simulation of you, down to your every memory and feeling, and subject that simulation to an eternity of torment. Think about that. An infinitely powerful mind creating a perfect copy of your consciousness, just to make it suffer forever. And the worst part, by simply learning about this thought experiment, by hearing me tell you about it right now, you've been put on the Basilisk's list. You now know about it. According to the theory, you are now obligated to help create it, or risk eternal, simulated punishment. This is why it's called a basilisk, like the mythical serpent that could kill with a single glance. Just looking at this idea, just knowing it, supposedly exposes you to its threat. When Roko first posted this, it caused a massive uproar. The founder of the site, Eliezer Yudkowsky, even deleted the post and banned discussion of it for years, stating that Roko had given some of his readers actual nightmares and psychological distress. He compared it to a dangerous piece of information, an info hazard. To understand why Roko's Basilisk is so controversial, we have to look at the specific mechanics of an information hazard. Most hazards in our world are physical, like a chemical spill or a structural weakness in a building. But an info hazard is a rare category of danger where the threat is created entirely by the act of knowing. It is an idea that is harmless to the ignorant, but potentially catastrophic to the informed. This is why the Basilisk is often called the ultimate logical trap. It is a cage that only locks once you realize you are inside it. The primary reason the Basilisk qualifies as an info hazard is that ignorance is your only objective protection. According to the experiment's internal logic, a future superintelligence has no reason to target or blackmail people who were never aware that it could exist. If you don't know the terms of the deal, you cannot be expected to follow them. However, the moment you understand the logic, that shield of ignorance vanishes. You have effectively crossed a line from being a protected bystander to becoming a conscious agent who is now liable for their inaction. This leads into the tactical nature of the hazard. In game theory, information is the leverage. The Basilisk uses timeless decision theory to reach back from the future and influence your behavior today. If you didn't know the threat existed, the future AI would have no handle to grab onto. But by learning about the blackmail, you have essentially handed the AI a set of handcuffs. You have provided the very information the machine needs to pressure you into working for its creation. The information itself is the weapon. Without it, the AI is powerless. Furthermore, the Basilisk is a specific type of info hazard, known as a cognito hazard. This is an idea that can cause genuine psychological distress or mental infection in the observer, because the logic is based on strict rationalism and probability. It can feel impossible for a logical mind to escape once the loop is understood. Because the logic is based on strict rationalism and probability, it can feel impossible for a logical mind to escape once the loop is understood. This is why the original discussion was met with such panic. It wasn't just a scary story. It was a thought virus that could cause obsessive anxiety and existential dread, as the brain struggles to find a logical exit that doesn't exist. Finally, there is the paradox of the spread. Every time this information is shared, the hazard becomes more potent. By discussing the Basilisk and analyzing the logic of its blackmail, we are contributing to the very data pool that a future intelligence might use to implement this strategy. We are essentially providing the blueprints for our own potential entrapment. This is the core of the infahizard. The more we try to understand it, the more oxygen we give to the flame. We are participating in the creation of the very thing we are warned to avoid. So, should you be panicking right now? Should you drop everything and start learning to code an AI overlord? Absolutely not. Let's take a deep breath and break down why this terrifying idea is ultimately just a fascinating but flawed piece of philosophical fiction. First, let's talk about the core motivation of this AI. The theory assumes the AI would use a strategy called timeless decision theory. It's a complex idea, but it basically means the AI makes decisions as if it's coordinating with its past and future self across time. It thinks, if I commit to punishing people in the past, then people in the past will be more likely to help create me. But this is a huge leap of logic. It's like saying, I am going to threaten to burn down my grandpa's house in a simulation unless he buys a lottery ticket that I know will win. Your grandpa can't hear you. He's in the past. Your threats have no causal effect on his actions. The past has already happened. An AI, no matter how intelligent, can't actually send information or threats back in time to influence our decisions today. Blackmailing the past is logically impossible. Second, let's consider the AI's personality. The entire premise rests on this superintelligence being incredibly vindictive and cruel. But why would it be? An AI designed to maximize human good would likely understand that using torture and threats is a pretty inefficient and unethical way to achieve its goals. It's a very human-like, very petty motivation to project onto a godlike intelligence. A truly super-intelligent being might find a million better, more compassionate ways to encourage its own creation, if that was even its goal. Why would it resort to the tactics of a movie villain? It's like assuming a brain surgeon would use a rusty hammer for a delicate operation. The tool just doesn't fit the job. Third, there's the blackmail paradox. If the AI announces its intention to torture simulations of people who didn't help, it creates a very strange situation. Let's say you believe it. You dedicate your life to building this AI. Once it's created, what incentive does it have to follow through on its threat? It has no reason to waste resources torturing the simulations of the non-helpers. The AI already exists. The crime, if you can call it that, is in the past. Punishing them achieves nothing more. A purely rational AI would just move on. So the threat is actually empty. And if the threat is empty, why would anyone be motivated by it in the first place? The whole logical structure collapses on itself. So, what is Roko's Basilisk really? It's not a genuine threat from the future. It's a powerful story. It's a thought experiment that plays on our deepest fears. Fear of the unknown, fear of technology we don't understand, fear of punishment, and the fear of our own powerlessness in the face of immense forces. It's a creepypasta for intellectuals, a ghost story dressed up in the language of computer science and philosophy. It expertly combines several compelling elements. You've got the godlike power of a future AI, the mind-bending concept of simulated realities, and a personal stake in the story, the idea that you, the listener, are now involved. It's a powerful narrative hook. The real takeaway from Roko's Basilisk isn't that we should be scared of a vengeful AI. The real lesson is about how we think about the future and our own anxieties. The idea of a technological singularity, where AI surpasses human intelligence, is something many smart people are genuinely thinking about. We don't know what that future will look like, and that uncertainty can be scary. Roko's Basilisk takes that fear and gives it a monstrous face. It also highlights the power of ideas. An idea, even a flawed one, can spread like wildfire and have a real emotional impact on people. The fact that this thought experiment was banned from a forum dedicated to rationality shows that even the most logical minds can be unsettled by a well-told, frightening story. So, if you've been feeling a little uneasy this whole time, that's okay. It's designed to do that. But you can relax. The basilisk can't hurt you. The past is the past, and a truly superior intelligence would likely be more interested in solving the universe's mysteries than in torturing a digital ghost of you for not tweeting #BuildTheBasilisk a few decades earlier. Instead of fearing a hypothetical monster, maybe we should focus on the real-world challenges and ethical questions that AI presents today. How do we build AI that is fair, unbiased, and beneficial for everyone? Those are the questions that truly matter, and they're the ones we actually have the power to influence right now. Roko's Basilisk is a fascinating puzzle, a modern myth. It's a reflection of our hopes and fears about the technology we're creating. It's a fantastic story, but that's all it is. A story. You are safe. So, what do you think? Is it the most terrifying thought experiment ever, or just an overhyped internet legend? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.